Yahweh, Yahweh. For you have won the victory for me. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. You have won the victory for me. Yahweh, Yahweh. I know I'm a winner, 'cause you're fighting for me, Yahweh. And you will win the victory for me, oh God, oh God. Yahweh, Yahweh. Oh my. Said I trust in your word, oh God. You have done it before, Yahweh, Yahweh. And you will win the victory for me, oh God. Yahweh, Yahweh. Everybody from the comfort of your homes, Yahweh, Yahweh. Oftentimes, the challenge of men become the address of men. That there are so many people who address us by our challenges, that they prefer to call us by our problems than by our names. Sarah was not raised in a heathenistic family. Abraham wasn't an atheist. They were believers, and yet they were ridiculed and mocked by many. Mockery happens to be the introductory ground for anybody that is destined for higher heights. Jesus was mocked upon. They mocked him. They spat on him. That was mockery. But before that mockery, he never had the crown of glory. But the address of men is not the conclusion of God. Because sometimes when men are making their public addresses, God, who is all wise and all knowing, the God who knows your end from your beginning, will cause and will always use them, and the same platform, the same table, the same place where they ridiculed and mocked that person, that will be the same place God will glorify that person. There are people who call themselves secret Christians. You cannot be a Christian and be hidden. You can't be a secret Christian. It is either your Christianity will destroy your secrecy, or your secrecy will destroy your Christianity. Let me rewind and press play. There are no secret Christians, because if you choose to be a secret Christian, it is either your secrecy will destroy your Christianity, or your Christianity will destroy your secrecy. You can never light up a candle and place them under a basket. Every candle is supposed to be placed up so that all eyes will see. There are people who call themselves secret Christians. You cannot be a Christian and be hidden. You can't be a secret Christian. It is either your Christianity will destroy your secrecy, or your secrecy will destroy your Christianity. Let me rewind and press play. There are no secret Christians, because if you choose to be a secret Christian, it is either your secrecy will destroy your Christianity, or your Christianity will destroy your secrecy. You can never light up a candle and place them under a basket. Every candle is supposed to be placed up so that all eyes will see. Oftentimes, the challenge of men become the address of men. That there are so many people who address us by our challenges, that they prefer to call us by our problems than by our names. Sarah was not raised in a heathenistic family. Abraham wasn't an atheist. They were believers, and yet they were ridiculed and mocked by many. Mockery happens to be the introductory ground for anybody that is destined for higher heights. Jesus was mocked upon. They mocked him. They spat on him. That was mockery. But before that mockery, he never had the crown of glory. But the address of men is not the conclusion of God. Because sometimes when men are making their public addresses, God, who is all wise and all knowing, the God who knows your end from your beginning, will cause and will always use them, and the same platform, the same table, the same place where they ridiculed and mocked that person, that will be the same place God will glorify that person.
Evening to you, our cherished viewers. Today, 22nd day of July 2020, the year of our Lord, and we thank God for giving us this day. We come your way with another very informative, educative, and exciting discussion every Wednesday, as we always do. Wednesday is here. I believe it's going to be a blessing to you. Stay. Today, what are we looking at? We are talking about a very important subject. It has evolved over the years, from people accompanying others to farm and even going to war with them. It has moved on further into now becoming virtual. We are talking about friendship. Who is a friend to you? Who do you call a friend? Is it the one that likes every post you put up on social media? Is it the one that also shares your secret with the world? Or the one who will support you on any endeavor, regardless of how good or bad it may be? These and many more we want to find out on the show today. We are discussing friendship. And I want to encourage you to send your questions. If you have anything at all you want to share with us, you can send it on the page. We are going to read it. Most importantly, let us know where you are watching us from. And then also, we encourage you to share the video as well. And then call as many people that Dr. Michael will be seated to discuss with us. Stay with us. I'll be back with you after the break. As I said before, when for the break, it's very exciting to have him, and every Wednesday, as we all know. Today he's seated as well. We are looking at a very important subject. We're talking about friendship, very importantly. There's a kind of friendship that, very profound one, very deep for that matter. When we talk about the friendship between David and Jonathan, the biblical account tells that there was so much connected. Jonathan was so much in love with his friend, said that he decided to make a covenant with him. I want to find out who a friend is today. And as usual, Dr. Michael is seated to help us get into that. Before we get into the discussion, today's edition is proudly sponsored by Hibiscus Infusion, healthy hibiscus infusions. It's a drink with chunks in it. It's going to bless you. You need one. Very, very good drink. I've had a taste of it. It's good. But we're getting to the discussion, and I want to entreat you to share the video as well. You create watch parties for it. If you have any question at all, maybe a friend betrayed you somewhere. If you want to share that experience with us, we really appreciate it on the show. So, Papa, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
As usual.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Today we're talking about friendship. To start with, Papa, who is a friend?
Anybody that you find mutual affections and you can relate with can be termed as a friend.
As a friend?
Yeah. If there is that kind of mutual affection and mutual respect, mutual affection, okay. Then you can call the person a friend. You can term that person as a friend. Yes.
You know, well, modern societies these days, they've coined many words. Some say buddy, a pal, my clique, and all that. Are there differences? I'm sure you've come across some of these words.
No, I believe those will be semantics. Okay. Those will be how you will see it based on your orientation or generation you are coming from. I believe that years ago, you will call your Facebook friend your pen pal.
That's right, yeah.
Because
before Facebook
came.
Yeah.
Because of the kind of friendship you had.
That's
so
right.
It was a pal, but it's just a pal through the pen.
That's right.
So you write letters and you exchange letters and you call the person a friend. So it will be a matter of the many evolutions that the term friendship has gone through.
Yeah, I'm sure the Indomie generation now wouldn't know what pen pal.
Oh yeah,
a pen pal.
A pen pal, yes.
Those days
when you used to write letters. To people in other countries.
That's right.
And normally, I remember I was to ask for. Oh, I did. I had a friend, a pen pal, in Holland who was sending me. My first Good News Bible was sent to me by him years ago. So yeah, I used to write letters, and when you go to school and they are mentioning the names of those who have received parcels, and your name is mentioned, you get excited. But you write a lot of them. Like now, you request for friendship. It was the same. You look for addresses, and it was quite interesting.
Very interesting.
People will have a pen pal, and they will share their contact with you, and all those things. It was quite interesting.
I had a very interesting encounter. There was a gentleman in my class, well built. He was more like the oldest in the class, and he had a pen pal that was sending him a lot of, Christian literature and books and other things. And he moved on from there to pens, to toys and other things. The friendship was quite close. So we wanted to also get into it to have access to the address so we could also write to it. So, and he had a book that used to keep these names. He had a lot of them. So it was left with someone to go and secretly pick the book so that we can also copy the addresses. But because we were afraid of him, if he catches, he will beat you. and so a friend of mine stood by him whilst he had the book there to distract him. And I had the ability to memorize things faster. So they signaled me that I should go in there and capture the thing in my head, read it, look at the address. So whilst they were distracting by talking to me, I was trying to memorize the thing quickly, and he turned and he saw me. It wasn't a good experience at all. He held my neck and said, the thing that I've committed to me, I should get it out of my head.
That's a difficult one.
Yeah. But basically, what's the difference between a friend and an acquaintance?
Well, I believe that they should be almost the same. Just the levels of commitment.
Okay.
So there are layers of friendship. An acquaintance is somebody that, occasionally you can get by. You can meet, talk about things that you will not go deep with the person.
Okay.
But truly, if the person happens to be a friend, as in another layer, if you peel off that layer and you go deeper with the person, then the person in your mind has moved from just a mere acquaintance into a level of intimacy, whereby you can share your intimate stuff with the person. But if you look at the etymology of the words, they should all be the same, but different levels of commitment and engagement. So if somebody is truly a friend, just like looking at the earth crust. So when you want to drill a borehole, you find layers.
Definitely.
So friendship too is in layers.
Okay.
So we have some that you call the acquaintances. There are some that you say, oh, a casual friend. You go so layers.
Okay.
That would be my simplest explanation to that. If you choose to go deeper with the person, or there are deeper levels of engagement, commitment, or intimacy, then you are saying that the person is not just a mere acquaintance, but you've opened another chapter or door to the person, which is quite important, that you know who you open doors to. And so if we are to get into that kind of conversation, then you realize that it is not everybody you open your doors to. There are people that are supposed to be kept as mere acquaintances, as in the surface level. You don't dig deep with them, because you normally have to check the capacity of a person before you open doors to your heart and to your emotions to them. Because there is nobody who come into your life as being neutral. Everybody either takes from you or adds to you. So if you're going to open the portals of your life to somebody, you should weigh or count the cost. Is the person coming to add, or is the person coming to subtract? If it's going to be a subtraction, is it a healthy subtraction? Those are things that you need to also understand, because life is not only about receiving or taking. Life is also about giving. Okay. So you will feed from the tables of others. Others are supposed to feed from your tables. It becomes a problem when you feeding others outweigh you being fed. Then you become anemic. And so there should be that proper balancing of your givings and takings. So you should be able to know which level you want to go with somebody. You don't go all the way with some people. There are people who don't have the capacity to handle all the way.
But you spoke about, you just mentioned that you need to weigh. Are there measures? What are some of the tools you can use, or the signs you can use to actually assess who you open up to and who you don't?
The first thing is that you don't open up to strangers. So don't hurriedly jump into bed with a person you feel is cute. What I mean is that allow people to reveal the intents of their hearts through time.
So in that time, before they reveal their intentions or who they are, or what they are made of, how do you keep them? Do you keep them at bay, or you?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So allow time to pass. Give yourself time. Once you're giving yourself time, it means that I am nice to you, but I'm not close to you. I'm still studying. I'm trying to know you. So I don't push you away, but I don't also draw you close. I need to know you. I need to understand that if you hurriedly push through motions, you wreck the ship. So interestingly, we have to be able to tell that, okay, I met Nana Poku. Nana Poku seems to be a good guy. Now, it might be that Nana Poku is around because Nana Poku has been sent by somebody who doesn't like me. How will I know that? Time, conversations, intent. Nana Poku came to push me up. Time, conversations, intent. And oftentimes you need to test people. I told somebody that the best way to know whether somebody is a good man or a bad man, a good woman or a bad woman, a good friend or a bad friend, is by telling them something that is not true
about yourself,
and seeing how far it will go. For instance, if you come close to me and I tell you, I'm thinking of relocating to Mozambique, and I hear from 3 people later on, hey, have you heard? He's thinking of relocating to Mozambique. Then you know that this person is not somebody you can share your life with.
Okay, secrets.
No, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Once you share your life with somebody, it's no longer a secret, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Secrecy is different. The word itself is different. Yeah, but I'm saying that tell the person what is not damaging to you.
But that's not true.
But that's not true. You'll be able to tell how far it goes.
Okay.
And you realize that such a person can run a story and headline with your falsehood.
Okay.
You hear it from people, then immediately it tells you. So what I mean is that you test people. When somebody comes to visit you in your home and the person is just going to stay overnight, you shouldn't even allow the person to lift a finger. If there is no shower in your house, get a bucket and fetch water and put it in the bathroom and tell them to go and take their shower. Iron their clothes for them, do all of that. It's just overnight. Give them a beautiful experience. If they tell you that they want to stay with you for a week, show them where to fetch the water. Show them where the ironing board is. If they say they are going to stay there for a month, start exposing the bills of the house to them. And what I mean is that depending on how far you know you are going with somebody, the treatment should be different. If you really want to go far with somebody, you test them. You don't pamper people on their way to glory. You test them. And so those are some of the things that.
But there's no set time in terms of finding.
No. There are some people you can find out the intent of their heart in 3 days.
Okay.
There are people that if you meet them the first day, they will tell you everything about themselves. They are not good friends. They can be acquaintances.
Is it not a function of maybe their temperament?
That's why if somebody has that as a temperament, you should keep that on the surface level of friendship. Because if that happens to be the nature of the person, such that the person enjoys parroting, the person just likes talking, you don't know what you deem confidential that he will share or she will share. So you have to be careful. If I meet you and there are people like that, you meet them within 30 minutes, you know everything about them. You know what they have, you know what they don't have, you know where they live, you know what they eat, you know everything about them. And it's risky to keep those people close to you, because the things of your inner courts will be displayed in the public, because they have the tendencies of sharing intimate stuff publicly. They don't care who is a stranger, who is a buddy.
There's an old adage, it's a saying that like elders will say that beware of friends, and to a large extent don't keep too many friends. Do you agree to such a session that you don't keep too many friends, especially in this age of networking, that if you are in business you need a lot of people to actually push your brand or push what you stand for?
So maybe we have to probably talk about levels or layers of friendship. That proverb works if you are moving into intimate relationships. You should have people around you. If you are in business, like your network, you can have business relationships or business relations. You can have working relations with people. But to say somebody is your friend, as in deep levels of the word friendship, is somebody that you share your life with. So you go out, you meet a guy, you share with your friend. You go out, you meet a lady, you share with your friend. You go out, somebody promises you, the first person you pick up phone to call is that friend. Oh, you know what, I went out and I met a guy, he's so cute, and the guy expressed interest. Oh, I saw him and like that, and I saw the lady. Of course, ladies do that. I believe some guys also do that. They meet and they talk about girls as well. So it cuts. for both. Then you are looking at somebody who, say, a promise came through, somebody said, I'm going to give you money, picks up a phone, calls a friend, oh, be praying with me. Oh, I just got off the phone with this guy. He said he's going to give me some money. I mean, those are levels of friendship that you should be wary of. You should be careful. Because not everybody who smiles or laughs with you truly loves you. There are also fair weather friends. So you should know that, okay, this person, you know, with friendship, a true friend should show certain characteristics. Altruism, commitment, loyalties, and all of that. Altruism is when somebody is an old age virtue, whereby you get happy for the well-being of other people. And so if somebody is a true friend and you are excelling, they get happy. Your true friend will never be envious of you. If it's a friend. I remember in the run-up to this discussion, you spoke about David and Jonathan. Now, Jonathan considered David as a friend. David considered Jonathan as an ally. Both worked together. He was supposed to be the king. He was the heir apparent to the throne of his father.
He's talking about Jonathan.
Talking about Jonathan. When the thing was passed on to David, he was not envious.
That's right.
He did not covet. He did not envy his friend. True friendship leaves no room or allowance for envy or jealousy. A true friend will not envy your progress. Your progression, that's what that virtue, altruism, comes from. A true friend gets excited when you are doing well. A true friend can even go and have a Thanksgiving service in church on your behalf for your promotion.
That's right.
A true friend will have a Thanksgiving service in his house, prayerfully thank God for 30 minutes, for 1 hour, because his friend had a breakthrough, her friend had a baby, her friend got married. The fact that she did not get married or she is not married doesn't mean that she is envious of the friend that got married. So altruism is that although I am your friend, I might be older than you, you are getting married, but I am clapping you on, I'm rooting for you, I'm cheering for you. That is what true friendship is. If the person doesn't show loyalty, commitment, and the relationship is lopsided, or of course, if you get into it, you realize that adage or that proverb becomes interesting if you consider that there are people who, even when you pick up a conversation with them and the conversation is not something that they want, they can go cold. When you are sharing a praise report or something happened to you that you want to share, they can kill that conversation. If they will go cold on you if you need them. If you call them and it's about something you want, they won't even attend to it. So these are all things that you can be looking out for. You should have your antenna for discernment up to be able to pick out the signals that people will be transmitting quietly, because the mosquito knows how to pick up signals.
That's right.
All the insects, they know how to pick signals. When to attack, when not to attack. Even when a mosquito wants to bite and you shake yourself, they are able to pick the signal. Most of the other animals that will use echolocation, like the bat, that technically doesn't have an eye to see, especially in the light. And in the night too, they can't really see, but they use echolocation. When they flap their wings and they make their sound, they see where it bounces from. So when it echoes, it tells them that there is an obstruction here, so don't pass through there. Human beings can have systems to echolocate which people are there for you and which people are not there for you. And there are people who are just coming to suck your blood. So you will have people who will come as friends, but they are vampires. They are there for your blood. Your blood is probably your money, probably your beauty, probably your intellect. Probably they know that you have something that they want, and that's what they want to feed off. But quite apart from that, you should be mindful which people you really open your doors to, because it's not everybody who hugs you or who kisses you that loves you.
Wow.
Jesus was betrayed with a kiss.
That's right.
So a kiss is not an enforcement or an endorsement of love. A kiss might be a sign of betrayal. So you should be careful.
Wow.
The fact that somebody is tongue kissing you doesn't mean the person is madly in love with you. The person might be showing the devil that I have the person in my pocket.
Wow.
And so, and so you have to be mindful.
Wow. Well, folks, if you just logged on, you are on Wednesday with Dr. Michael Boadi Nyamekye. We are looking at friendship as a subject. Very important topic to look at. Many people complain, talk about fake friends here and there. Papa has been taking us through, but just by way of trying to recap on some of the points, he says that it should be on levels. I mean, you don't meet someone today and open up your doors to. There are people you meet them in 30 minutes, you can actually tell their whole life story because they open it up to you. And it's not the best. You should be able to allow also time to identify or scrutinize who someone, who you can call a friend actually. Also, he also made mention of altruism. So we are learning a lot on the show today. Papa, there's this thing that people talk about. They talk about fake friends, people who smile with you. But I want to, my question is this. Let's say I come around someone, you, with very good intentions. Can your behavior or your character corrupt me to become a bad friend to you?
I want to give a shout out to my kids. I'm just been told that my kids are watching Wednesday Live.
Oh, wow.
So I have Michael, Mitchell, Mami Sewa, Miguel, Michael, everybody around it. And my love to them is unconditional. Yes. Yes, right. All of them are Michael. We are all Michael related. And
wow.
My first child is almost it's taller than I am. I was going to say almost my height, but just trying to steal some points. But
okay.
So guys, we'll talk after the show. Bad friends will always corrupt good morals. You can come with good character, good heart, but once you get in contact with somebody and the person doesn't have good character, it will corrupt you. It's obvious. People can corrupt people. People can corrupt people. In the same way, people can make people better. Okay. So people can corrupt people. Okay. It depends on the strength of the influencer. Okay. So if the influencer is influencing as negative influence, of course the person will be negatively impacted. Okay. Wow. If the person is positively influenced by the other guy too, that will be what will show. But
that is to say, sometimes it's not always the case that because the person that came around was that bad. Maybe you, the person complaining,
you corrupted the person, or you show the person. But again, that is also looking at it superficially, because the truth is that it's very difficult to also corrupt the hard disk of somebody. Okay. When you, it's not in your DNA to lie. No matter how many lies your friend tells, you always want to correct the person and tell the person that's not good. If you have very strong moral positions and values, at a point you tell the person, you know what, I don't think I can keep this company because of A, B, C, D. So, like I always say, you don't compromise your excellence to accommodate the mediocrity of others. So if the person is being mediocre, you don't let loose your standards of excellence. No. But of course, somebody might come around with good intentions. Not even the main person or the subject of the discussion or friendship. It can even be the people that are around him. For instance, somebody came to say TMH, to fellowship. God spoke to the person, go and serve there, learn ministry and the basic rudiments of ministry from the Maker's house. And the person comes. And the person comes to meet like a gang of people that will forbid the person from even getting close, getting his hands into the work. Over time, it can make the person resentful, bitter.
That's right.
It's a thin line. It's a thin line. So it's not always even about the person. It can even be the interplay of the other people around the subject of the relationship.
Wow. Okay. All right. We want to take a short break and get Doc to take a breather. When we return, we want to find out there are people who entrench or force their way into other people's lives, or in the name of, I just like him, I want to be friends with him, and you are being difficult, you are not opening up. We want to find out those people, which category do we put them in? We'll discuss that after the break. Please stay.
When the favor of God visits a man, it brings visitation upon the man. God visits people based on where they are going, not where they are. An angel had visited Mary, and when the angel visited Mary, the angel came with a salutation that was strange. Said, Mary, you are blessed amongst women. And yet, at this point, the lady was only a teenager. When God manifests himself in the lives of an individual, God is not considering their current state or status. God is considering where he's taking them to. And so God will look at somebody that people will relegate, people will look down upon, people will not count for anything. And God will slap his grace on them and call them the blessed and the favored amongst women. Don't forget that when God visited Gideon, Gideon was hiding. Gideon was a coward and was hiding. And when the angel had visited Gideon, the angel said, you are a mighty man of valor. Why? Because God will always judge your end, not your present predicament. And when God visits anybody, God changes their identity and their address. Oftentimes, untested faith is an unspoken faith. What really shows that you believe and you walk in the tenets of your proclamations and affirmations are the various degrees of tests that you'll be subjected to. Sometimes the minor setbacks are for major comebacks. I have come to understand, God, that sometimes he allows
All right, welcome back. Wednesday live with Dr. Michael Boadi Nyamekye. We're talking about friendship. Just before we went for the break, I said I was going to ask Papa to help us. There are people that force their way into other people's lives. They will call you, they will pester you, they will get your number, and if you don't open up, and then you are tagged as that. Should friendship be enforced? Like you like someone, and someone is sometimes very genuine. That the person likes you, the person wants to get close. I've seen that a few of those things quite around you. Sometimes they even get aggressive, and anybody that tried to stand in their way, they really get offensive with them. Should it be allowed?
That kind of friendship?
That kind of friendship.
If you recall, I said that it should be mutual affection. So you loving me only, and me not loving you back, does not solidify friendship. You liking me, me not liking you, doesn't make us friends. We probably might be acquaintances. But I also understand those who do that, because when you see gold, no matter how deep it's buried, you dig it.
Okay.
And so let's say that they see the virtue, the quality, and what you have, and so they will keep digging. They will keep coming for you. I think that when somebody shows you that kind of affection or that kind of commitment, you don't just shun the person. Give them time and study them, because most of them are going to be your foot soldiers. Okay. Somebody who will love you that much might be a foot soldier or a warrior for you. So just give them time. They might, if the person doesn't have any, if the person is not stalking you, you know, there are differences. It can be a lady and the guy is pushing and just stalking you. That's different. Okay. But if it's a lady, guy, or lady, guy, and it doesn't even matter. Genuinely, the person just wants to befriend you. You are not led yet, or you don't feel right about it yet. Give them reasonable room to give yourself that margin of comfort. But I would say that if somebody will love you genuinely that much, to go the extra mile, to push for your attention, you shouldn't just shun them. Give them some time.
Okay.
Because over time, you might actually see their intent and why they are there.
But there's also another kind of friendship, of course, as seen in the Bible, between Amnon and Tamar, where he wanted the lady. The friend gave him an advice. The question is this: if you have someone who is up for your good, like the person likes you from in all regards, but the advice they are giving is like they are in support of everything you are doing. They can't really look in your face and tell you that this thing is wrong. Are they friends? Are they really your friends?
They are friends. They are your friends. But just as I told you, there are layers of friends.
So what category would we put people like that in?
I won't go deep with such people. You see, if you really... Okay, my wife is my friend.
Okay.
Boadi Nyamekye. She is my friend. She is my wife, but she's my friend. I think that I can live with her even if we were not married. As in, she could be my friend even if we weren't married. So the marriage itself is built on friendship.
Okay.
Now she is such that if I'm doing something that is not right,
it's beautiful to hear this.
she will call me.
Okay.
She doesn't mind doing whatever she has to do, whether she will... she won't give you peace until we hear. You have to hear her out. Now, I am very stubborn, and she will always say, you are stubborn. I'm a very stubborn person. I'm normally set in my ways when I want to do something. So she will make sure that she gets your attention. And if you don't listen, she knows one or two people that can add on to the heat. So I enjoy having conversations with her and living with her and moving on in life with her, because she is not going to be a yes man around. Before she says, she is not like me. She will analyze everything, risk, do all of that.
Very analytical.
Very analytical. I am not like that. I'm not like that. I can take a risk. That's why I do business.
That's right.
I always tell her that she's not a proper co. She is not
but from
an entrepreneur.
You also very analytical, very detailed.
No, I'm very detailed. When I want to do something, I will make sure I cover every blade of grass. Nothing will go unnoticed. No, that one I won't do it. Ken will tell you, we've been doing some businesses and all of that. It's difficult for me to say I'm parting with a dime. Until I know and I'm comfortable about all the other things that need to be done. So that one I'm careful. But she will be able to tell you that, okay, you want to do this. For instance, there is a major thing that needs to be done. I wanted to handle it my way. You call me and say, you can't do it. What I mean is that you have to, if you want to be a leader, and if you want to rise to the top, you don't surround yourself with people who sing hallelujah to everything you say. They should be politely. My wife has never been disrespectful to me or rude, never. But politely, the person should be able to tell, you know what? I think the intentions are good, but the method is wrong. And not just question the method, but propose alternative methods. You need friends like that. You need a friend. There is a friend that I have who always watches me, and after every program, I like the dress you were wearing or the shirt you were wearing. You know, this brings you out. The other ones make you down. I like this kind of shade. This looks good on you. So you need, it's not somebody who will clap for you even if you are making a mistake. You don't need those people only. You need cheerleaders because even in a football match, the good supporters are the ones who, even when their team is losing, they are making noise for them.
Like a team I know.
So there is a level.
Okay.
So the fans that will be the cheerleaders are good for the game, but they are not good for strategic decisions.
They are like foot soldiers.
Yes. So the foot soldiers of a political party, when they want to make major decisions for the party, do they call them?
Not at all. Okay.
So you need all of them. You need those who will cheer you on and oh yes. Those people will give you energy, motivation, support to even think that you can arrest the sun. There are those who, if you say that you are going to get into light business, they will tell you can sell everything. But you should be careful. Because if you have such people, those are the only people you have in your life, they will let you sell the sun and buy a candle.
Wow. Can you get deeper into that? You said the sun and buy a candle.
Okay, so you trade something more potent and treasurable for something of inferior quality. You can't compare the sun and the candle, but they will let you sell your sun just to buy a candle. Because they are only going to motivate you. But you don't need only those people. You need at every level, everything you are doing. That's why I use the football match for as an example. You need to understand those things. You really need to.
All right. Well, folks, if you have an experience, you can share it with us. Maybe a friend you trusted once betrayed you, or your experiences with friends. Has it been a very good story for you with a friend? Some people have very terrible stories to talk about their friends.
Really?
Almost every friend, there are people like that. There's someone I know who almost every friend keeps on. He complains that.
But you see, normally, that such a person is just is not a wise person.
Someone who is betrayed often.
All the time. Wow. It's not a very wise person. Because there is a pattern that she's not changing.
Okay. Good people, I've heard that good people are often abused because they are good, especially by their friends.
Often, not always.
Okay, oftentimes abused by their friends.
Often.
Is it their fault when you are abused because you're a good person, you have a good heart, you have friends around you, you help, and then they betray you?
You see, if it is a good person out of a good heart doing that, the person wouldn't even see the abusers, because in their nature they were wired to do good. Okay, but betrayal is another thing. Being abusers because they know you give them every time they come and you give them. That's an abuse. Okay. But somebody can abuse you without betraying you, because they always come to eat your food. But they won't go and tell the people your food doesn't taste nice. Okay. So it's also a level of abuse. Okay. But to be betrayed is deeper. It means if she's had even 3 friends, 1 might be an event, 2 coincidence, 3 is a pattern, 4 is an establishment. Okay? So if you've had a friend, he betrayed you, she betrayed you. And the second one, the same circumstances and scenarios. The person did sing. The third one came and did sing. And you are wailing and gnashing your teeth that your friends always betray you. It's because you have not learned the lessons of friendship. And you don't even understand the rules of engagement. You open your innermost chambers or your in-house to people that are supposed to live on the outhouse. You see, when you call somebody a friend, there are friends that you are supposed to only meet them at the restaurant. Okay. When they are saying there is a meeting. Okay. You meet them probably at the train station and you talk about it, or the McDonald's or wherever, and you talk about it.
That's all.
That's it. There are some friends that when they come to your house, you sit in the on the compound. There are friends that you sit in the porch. There are some friends that can come. The farthest they should go is in the living area. There are some that you don't even have to sit on a dining table with them. That's what I mean. Your ability to compartmentalize and divide levels and realms of relationships and friendship based on the maturity of people is very important.
Okay.
You see, if you don't handle things right, I was giving an example to the guys yesterday when I was talking to them. I said, no matter how loving, again, I have 4 boys, and interestingly, at least 2 of them are watching. Michael and Mitchell are watching. Mam Sarah is watching. I love all my kids equally. Now, if no matter how I love Michael, I give Michael my gun and I put in cartridges or ammunition, 2 things might happen. It is either Michael will try it on me or he will try it on himself.
Okay.
So it's not that Michael's hand is not strong enough to hold a gun, but his mind is not ready to hold a gun.
Okay.
So we don't seem to reconcile the hand and the mind. So we entrust things in the hands of people whose minds are not ready. So truly, their hands are ready. Truly, they can hold it. Truly, they can engage in conversation, but they are not mentally matured. They are not ready yet.
Wow.
There are levels of engagement. Jesus had 12 people. In fact, Jesus called Judas his friend.
That's right.
He said, Judas, my friend. Jesus had 12 people that were very close to him, that he called friends.
That's it.
He dined with, he conversed with. But when he was going
within the disciples,
is within
the disciples, like
the whole 72, he had a 12
right.
that he could move with. These were his chocho mucho, these were his own guys.
That's it.
Out of the 12, he had 3. That out of the 3, he knew that with these guys, when I'm even going into my glorified state, I can go with them. So on the Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus went with them.
That's it.
But Jesus knew all of them and their capacity. So when he was leaving the earth realm, he left the mother to 1.
That's it.
Because Jesus knows, he has weighed them. He knows that Peter is a good guy, but Peter's domestic life is questionable. So I can't leave my mother in the hands of Peter. But if I leave my mom in the hands of John,
That's right.
supposedly the disciple that Jesus loved or who was in the bosom of Christ, Jesus knew that this guy loves me so much that whatever love he has for me, he will extend the love to my mother. If you love me, you love my dogs.
That's right.
So you should be able to tell, not just because they are around you, you should be able to assess. They might be ready with their hands, but are they ready with their minds? Are they mentally ready? Because the reason why we normally get betrayed is because we open mental things to handymen.
Wow. Come on now.
So there are people that are not supposed to be, certain portals of deep engagements are not supposed to come to them, but we open it to them because we fail to evaluate their potentials and their level. So you open your life up to somebody who can help you. Somebody who can empathize but cannot change your condition. Somebody who can fill your cup but cannot change your condition. So we have a lot of people like that in our lives. And we give degree certificates to kindergarten kids. That's what is happening. And so because the person couldn't handle it, you feel betrayed, but it's not him. He didn't have the mental capacity to do that. Your phone that you buy, no matter how expensive the phone is, the child who is 3 years old that is playing with the phone doesn't know how much you bought it, does not have value for money. So although the child loves you, the child can hit the screen on the floor and break it, and you will have headaches. You might even be thinking, look at what this child has done. Smashed my phone. You know its value, that's why you are crying. The child doesn't. And so you are entrusting something of value to people who don't appreciate the value of it.
Wow. Wow. That's very, very deep there. Folks, I mean, the discussion is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I have some few Facebook messages here, but I'm supposed to go for a break as well, but let me pick this one. But there's this question, sir. When someone you call a friend snatches your would-be partner from you, what do you do? Do you keep the friend for letting you know do you keep the friend for letting you know your would-be partner is not worth it or not? You let the person go, the person snatches.
Well, let me not be a pastor about this.
Speak to us, yeah. Come home to us.
Alacrity. Well, okay. Let me put on my dignified holy self.
Oh, come from all angles.
Because I am looking at, okay, for me, if I was the lady, I would never have any form of bitterness or resentment as far as my friend is concerned. But I will never have friendship with my friend again. Okay. Because if you did not respect my territory, you've never respected me. So I will not hate you. I'll just thank God for allowing me to see a snake around me and know how to stay away from the snake. So I don't hate you. When we meet, probably in a function, and you say hello, I'll gleefully say hi. And we will converse, all the chit chat, and everybody will move. But I will not keep that guy or that lady as a friend. You are not my friend. I know that you have been envious of me all this while. That's why I started with altruism. A good friend is happy for you when you are happy. So what was supposed to bring me joy, if you took it away from me, it means you've envied me, you've never liked my welfare or my progress. So you can't be my friend. But I will not also want to go back to the guy to start talking to the guy about what can be done. That is also not worth it. Because if the guy could stoop that low to go after somebody that you probably introduced as a friend, then the guy is not worth your time. But don't get worried, don't get worked up. If it's a real case, I would say that the person shouldn't get worked up. And the reason is one: whatever a man sows, he shall reap. So another friend of hers will snatch him.
Okay, Papa, so what is the place of forgiveness in friendship? Does that mean that when someone offends you as a friend,
no.
or if it goes
you see, I preached on forgiveness in church. I know that not everybody on this page right now watched it.
Okay.
But I said that forgiveness does not necessarily warrant reconciliation.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Forgiveness
does
not necessarily warrant reconciliation. Wow. So the fact that I've forgiven you doesn't mean I have to eat with you. I've forgiven you. I've forgiven you. It means that you are no more a prisoner in my heart. I don't hold any brief or grudge against you. But that doesn't mean I should go on a buffet with you.
Is that a as a Christian?
I'm talking about Christian principles. Yes. Okay. Forgiveness does not necessarily warrant reconciliation. The fact that you're forgiving somebody doesn't mean that because I've forgiven you, I have restored you to whatever thing we used to do. I've forgiven you, you are my friend. You took my guy or you took my girl, or you are my friend, you took something that belonged to me, you undermined me, and you caused me to lose a job or a contract. And because I've forgiven you, I'm going to show you to my new guy. Or are you saying?
Shouldn't happen.
No, you need deliverance, not just spiritual deliverance. You need mental emancipation. Maybe 40 minus 1 lashes might help you, because some people need to be prepped up. That's what I mean. You forgive. No problem. If somebody offends you, of course, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive them. But it doesn't mean that because I've forgiven you, the same thing that you heard me, I should expose you to that. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Wow. The punchline is, the key statement here is, forgiveness does not necessarily warrant reconciliation. So the fact that you've forgiven the person doesn't mean you should now go back to your old ways, frolicking with the person, because it's going to be repeated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, there are a lot of repeated offenders. There are people who, most of the time, that's what happens.
Wow.
And there are people too, when they sin or they offend you and you forgive them once, you forgive them twice, you forgive them again, it becomes a habit. They know that, just like a lot of Christians do and Muslims do to God. Oh, God, if you sin against him and you confess, he'll forgive you.
Okay.
So we sin with impunity.
All right. I have another question here. Facebook question. It says that, how do you know if a friend is happy for you or not? Because some can really pretend. I think, yes, this one is from Humble Stone. I don't know if Humble just logged on, because Papa touched on it. I'm saying that you have to. It's about your discernment, Papa.
Discernment and time. Yeah. Give it time. And normally, you see, people who don't like you, although they pretend around you, if you have your ears on the ground, you know that they speak behind you. Okay? If
you have your ears on the ground,
they will talk behind you.
Okay.
They will talk behind you. There is a Spanish proverb that says that if anybody is able to gossip to you, the person will be able to gossip about you. But if the person is around you and the person keeps on, I'm happy for you, then you hear another report from another person that, this guy, you have to be careful about your friend, because the way he commented on your new promotion or your newfound, you met somebody, you came and you introduced a guy or a lady to this friend, and the lady said, I'm happy for you, this guy is so cute. Went and met your other mutual friends and said, she brought a guy, and the guy has all kinds of things. So immediately that is also giving you a signal. So it's all about your discernment and being calm. The truth is that I would say that the problem with this generation is that we don't know what is private. We really don't know what is private. Because of the obsession for likes.
That's right.
And followership. All right. I have 1 million followers on Instagram. I have 600,000 followers on, what is the other one? Snapchat. I did a post and I had 10,000 likes and I had 5,000 comments. Those things.
It's eroded privacy.
People don't have privacy. So people will do anything for likes or for. But the fact that somebody, an unknown person, clicked a like doesn't mean you are likable.
Wow. Okay.
You should be able to get to know that. And most of the people around who will come, putting a lot of us, a lot of the people in this generation, everything about them is in the public. And you are saying why you can't get married. Are you dumb? There are some men who don't like their stuff to be in the public domain. Right. You take a picture with me and it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. You came to visit me and see where I am at. It tells me you are going nowhere. That's it. Because where you are happily rejoicing over, I might see it as a stepping stone. And so allowing you into my life simply means that I'm putting a lid on my growth. It means that because you are going to be a weight. And you see that as arrival. I see that as a springboard. So I can't run with you. And if you see a guy, like if you're a guy and you see a lady that, see people, somebody who is about to eat the food, take a picture. Oh, God has been so good. This is going to be delicious. Okay.
Wow.
No, there are people who have
like that. Which we're going to come back to it. I would want you to really, I'm sure what you are talking about, this is what I call, you are shaking tables. I think it's become more like a norm now. People don't seem to know lines of privacy at all.
Because probably I am from the old school. Because
like a very contemporary.
Well, but I'm still old school.
Sure.
But my thing is, Nana, if truly you are serious about a relationship, say you found somebody, the man, you have been disappointed twice by men. Why are you so much in a hurry to put the third one in the open space?
But this thing you just said, I wish I could call somebody's name
to listen. No, why are you so much in a hurry? Because the first one backfired, you couldn't eat, your friends, you didn't know how to even face your friends to tell them it didn't work. A second one came, you went, and they are the same people who gossip. The third person had come, and you want everybody to know that you have found somebody now. You should know that there are some things that are shared mutually, exclusively by two. It doesn't exceed. And wait until the time of maturity for people to even know. There are people, no wonder their spouses or their to-be spouses are snatched. Because sometimes the way they talk about them, oh, he's so good and he's so nice, he's so caring. So the girl also wants to enjoy some of the care.
That's right.
And some of the goodness.
It's good.
Why not? I don't want to pass. All
right. Okay, so we are taking a short break, but we are going to be refreshing ourselves with healthy hibiscus infusions.
Hey.
What we call sobolo here. This one is properly packed, very nutritious. And it also has chunks of the fruit in it. They have pineapple and then they have apple, chunks of it, of the fruits in the bottle. You need to get it. Healthy hibiscus infusion. That's what we're going to be refreshing ourselves with during this break. And after the break, we're going to have Papa talk to us. How do we handle the emergence of social media vis-a-vis our friendships with people? Now, we built virtual friendships to the extent that people are so well knit virtually on social media without knowing themselves. How do we balance these things? Because it seems to be a greater part of our lives where people live there. They live on social media. They have lots of friends there. But when you get close to them, you realize that they feel very lonely. They have issues. We are going to be looking at that after the break. So please stay and we'll get back to you.
There are people who call themselves secret Christians. You cannot be a Christian and be hidden. You can't be a secret Christian. It is either your Christianity will destroy your secrecy, or your secrecy will destroy your Christianity. Let me rewind and press play. There are no secret Christians. Because if you choose to be a secret Christian, it is either your secrecy will destroy your Christianity or your Christianity will destroy your secrecy. You can never light up a candle and place them under a basket. Every candle is supposed to be placed up so that all eyes will see. God, when He wants you to move to your next level, He will always put your faith on trial, and until you are able to overcome the boisterous and the tempestuous winds that will come up against you, you are not ready to be given the crown of success or significance. Anytime God will give you a word, you will not see Him in the boat, but He has oversight responsibility over the journey. Whatever you are going through, He's just watching. Most of the time, the devil will not start when you start. He'll only get through to you when you happen to be in the middle of the journey. God will always put your faith on trial. And when He does that, it is not because He wants you to fail, but He wants to make a bold statement with you and make a statement of claim to the devil. And anytime God is making boast of you, He is putting your faith on trial. God, when He wants you to move to your next level, He will always put your faith on trial, And until you are able to overcome the boisterous and the tempestuous winds that will come up against you, you are not ready to be given the crown of success or significance. Anytime God will give you a word, you not see him in the boat, but he has oversight responsibility over the journey. Whatever you are going through, he's just watching. Most of the time, the devil will not start when you start. He'll only get through to you when you happen to be in the middle of the journey. God will always put your faith on trial. And when he does that, it is not because he wants you to fail, but he wants to make a bold statement with you and make a statement of claim to the devil. And anytime God is making boast of you, he is putting your faith on trial.
All right, welcome back. I was enjoying my healthy hibiscus infusions. It's an initiative that someone who has been following the discussion, following Wednesday every time on, picked an initiative by an inspiration from our discussion and decided to come up with this. Very nutritious. You need to get it. Healthy hibiscus infusion. It's what we call sobolo. Put it in a bottle with chunks of it. Very, very nutritious. These are some of the benefits that Wednesday is churning out, and I think it's been a blessing to many. Someone also has come up with an idea of weaving, using what do you call it, dried leaves to create some sort of a bag, a lady's bag. Very, very creative, and we're going to have time and bring her on the show. But this is one of the initiatives that has come out of Wednesday. Healthy hibiscus infusions, I beg your pardon. Very nutritious, you need to get it. They have their contacts. We're going to display it on the screen for you to see, call them, and then get your orders. Good. So we are getting back into our discussion with questions on Facebook. If you haven't sent your question yet, please do send your questions. Or if you've ever been disappointed, or as the question came, if your boyfriend or your girlfriend or the person you were supposed to be espoused to was snatched by a friend, you can share with us. Maybe Papa would have a word for you and advise you so that you don't suffer double loss. Okay. You don't suffer double loss. All right. So I have some few questions here. Someone was asking okay, in a situation whereby you live with a friend, but he's very lazy, doesn't help clean the house, how do you handle such a situation?
You live with a friend as in the friend is patching you, or you are patching the friend?
I think in this instance, I think the person is living with the friend is patching with the text, the person that's in the message.
That's why I'm asking, because if you are living with that person, because the person has given you room or accommodation, solved it for you, the person sees it as probably your commitment and something you are doing of service for what he has done. But truly, if you have a friend and the person is living with you, the person doesn't clean the house or do any of those things, it is wise for you to sit the friend down and tell the person that, you know what, I live a very organized life, and I think that if you don't just throw your socks anywhere and your shoes anywhere, and when you get up from the bed, just make sure you've laid your bed, and there are things that you can say. Okay. Have that kind of conversation with a friend. If the friend thinks that it's becoming too much and is worrying you, if you have the money, employ somebody to do that. If your friend means that much to you. If that's not the case, for me, I think that if I have the money, I will not even let you live with me. I would rather want to support you to get your own space.
Okay.
So that we won't have those kind of problems.
Okay. Princess Boadi is sending us a message. He says that, do you necessarily have to be friends with your colleagues at work, especially in the same office?
No, you can have working relations with people in your office. Friendship and work, they are two different things. We can have a working relationship. Doesn't mean we are friends.
Okay.
So when we come to the office, the hello highs, moving desk, moving moving files and passing paper and doing all of that. Yes, we'll do that politely and with, there is no tension or animosity in the office.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that we have to share intimate stuff.
Okay. No. But a lot of companies after work, let's say Fridays, colleagues will hang out, go have a drink, and they seem to build friendships out of that, to the extent that some actually even go to visit their friends in their homes. Is this something that is healthy?
Well, again, there is no straitjacket for that. It's just a matter of you knowing your capacity. Once bitten, twice shy. And if you've been betrayed before and all of that, I think you should be very careful. Again, it comes back to us not respecting privacy. You went to the company to work. Form working relationships with people. But it's very dangerous, because if you open your house and all of that to people that you met in your space, as in work place, there are people who are like that. Or your friend, weekend, I want to come and spend the weekend with you. I'll come, we go together on Friday. The person leaves on Saturday to go back, or Sunday to go back to his house to get ready for work on Monday, and you alternate. So if the person moves on to another workplace and another person comes, you know what you are doing? You are widening your net. And with regards to deep or intimate friendships, the fewer the merrier.
The fewer the merrier.
You should have close, very close circles. If you have very broad circles, you have problems. It's always the case.
Personally, do you have a lot of friends?
And maybe let me ask you, do you see that I have friends?
Because that's what is even getting me to ask you the question. Because, of course, you do many things. You are in business, I know you have business. But in ministry, I've seen that feel, I know this person, but you barely call people.
My wife is my friend.
Wow.
Because nobody will have my interest like she will do.
So she's your friend?
She's my friend.
Beyond her, there are other people that you call as friends?
There are layers of friends,
close,
again, acquaintances. Close?
Very close.
None. I don't need anybody close to me like that. And I'll tell you why.
Tell us.
It is better for me to let you know when we meet and we are friends and we are talking, than to bring you close to see my net worth, how much I earn, because that provokes people who are, again, hand in mind to jealousy.
Okay.
You don't want people that will be in your chamber to throw javelins at you.
Okay.
Because most of the people that we draw close, they are the ones that throw the javelins. If I am alone and I get soakings and I enjoy my soakings and I sleep, because you are not close, you don't know what I had for dinner.
Okay.
But if you see that I did soakings for dinner, you go out there and tell people, Munjano, and you make a guy who did I. So let me enjoy, if it's poverty, let me enjoy my poverty. If it's wealth, let me enjoy my wealth. But I keep healthy relationships with people.
Okay.
I talk to you, we will talk. But that has been, you have been around me for how many years? For many years.
For many years, yeah.
Ask yourself, how many times do we speak in a week?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's not even possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes a whole month.
Yeah.
Sometimes you only call me when it's the program and you want to find out what I want you to do.
Yes.
It's not because I don't love you, but there is a limitation to our relationship.
That's right.
You are my son. You come to me, or I come to you when things need to be done or when we need to share. I have to give respect that my son is no more a toddler. He's also matured. I have to respect your space. So I will not be sniffing around Nanapuku every time, because I believe that my son is not a small boy anymore. He is a big boy. He has to come to me if he needs me. I need to invite him if I need him. So I respect relationships, and I have definition of every relationship that I have. I find it very strange when people begin to compare themselves with other people. Oh, and you treat this person like this, and I'm wondering, what can I do so that you also treat me like that? You are not sane. Because you have different names, and I know that you have different capacities. So I relate with people differently. Okay. I told you something the last time. One of my businesses is handled by an illiterate.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
Because I weigh people. That business, if I get a first degree, a master's holder, a PhD holder, or a professor to handle that business, the person will mess me up. Because technically, I should understand the business, and I should understand the qualities of the people that are around, and do what is called the person job fit or match. So I see that with this job, I need somebody who can go as crazy as because most of the people that in that business you deal with are the illiterates.
That's right.
So why do I get a literate to speak the language of the illiterates? They won't understand him. So let me get somebody who can speak their language, fight their battles with them, and do all of that. You should be able to tell. But what I mean is that, so I know how everybody is, what everybody has, and I relate with them like that. There are some people, when they come, oh, Unia, oh, you share, I mean, we've not spoken for a long time. Oh, Charlie, we'll meet soon. Or let's meet. Or so where are you? You know that for most of the people, I don't even know where they live.
Wow.
Because I have my normal roots.
Okay.
School, church, home, gym now.
Okay.
Four places. So I know where you live. That is if you still live where now in Douglas Martin.
Yeah.
And why now that's it?
No, a different place.
So I don't know where you live. No, I mean, just making it very practical.
That's right.
You've worked with me, you work very closely with me, but I don't know where you live. It's not that I don't love you, but I believe that that's your private space. I can't just, if Nana wants me to come to his house, maybe one day he will invite me. But there is something that I want you to, or if you're around, or if you happen to be in this area, I want you to pass through my house and probably pray for me in my house. That's different.
Just very soon when I'm buying my tricycle.
Yeah, then I'll come and I'll pass through. They carry 23 of my chromosomes. So they are me in miniature bodies, you know. They are me. I see me in Michael, me in Mitchell, me in Michelle, me in Miguel, me in Mikel. I see me in them. I don't see me in my wife. I see a friend in my wife. Because my wife is carrying the father's chromosomes and the mother's chromosomes. So I'm not in her, but I'm in my kids. So my relationship with my kids are different. You can never have an ex-child. You can have an ex-wife. Okay. Wow. You get that. So that is different. That is with my kids. But my wife is my friend. Like I keep saying, I think that if I do something evil, sinful, evil, whatever, I think I'll be very comfortable sharing it with my wife.
Wow. And you're that close.
Because she knows and she understands me, probably more than I do understand myself. It's because she does research and tells me,
this is who you are.
This is who you are, you know?
Okay. All right. There's a question I think is hinged on when you said that forgiveness does not warrant reconciliation. But this is from Elom Kunka. Elom is saying that the Bible says that God's forgiveness brought reconciliation between us and himself as agape love. Is it true forgiveness to forgive without reconciliation?
I love what Kunka has said. Very, 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 very insightful.
Kunka, thank you for your question. Yeah,
it's just smart for him to ask that. But the subjects are different. God and men. The all-knowing God dealing with the men he knows unconditionally.
Okay.
So
that's where the difference.
I'm not all-knowing.
Okay. So you cannot. All right, that's very.
I'm not all-knowing.
Okay.
God is all-knowing. He knows what you will do tomorrow. I don't. So I will forgive you and love you, but to sit and dine with you, I'll eat with you, but with a long spoon.
Okay. Producer, please kindly, if you can scroll a bit. There's a question I want to. I think it's actually a comment, but I would want Papa to please go up a bit. We'll come back to the social media question, but go up. So, I always get hurt by those I call friends, from Nana Brown. Nana seemed to have a problem. He said always. But is there any advice for Nana?
Oh, Nana will be fine. Maybe he has not gotten to his breaking point yet. You know, when you get to your breaking point, nobody will tell you to break away. You get there.
Okay. All right. There's please, anytime I introduce a lady to my family, was the family. I think the family. He said it's trying to say that anytime I introduce a lady to my family, I get disappointed.
By who? By the family or by the lady?
I really like to marry.
Maybe the lady ends up disappointing him. So don't hurry with an introduction. Tell about one or two close people in the family, so that the lady will also be comfortable that at least you are not hiding her as far as the family is concerned. But that grand entrance, take your time. Sometimes people are so, I think when people lustfully love, they are normally in haste.
Whoa.
So take your time.
Take your time. All right.
Take your time.
Emmanuel, being his son, says that, Doctor, please, I want to ask if a pastor friend who connected you to a lady who is now your wife, and if a pastor friend
connected to a lady
who is now your wife, and you can see that they are very closer than you being close to them, and your wife do things with him without telling you, what do you do, and what does it mean?
It means it's a sit down type. Sit your wife down and talk to your wife that, behold, all things are passed away, and behold, all things have become new. Now we are married. We are married. If there is any form of closeness, it should be between us. Have a sit down with your wife and talk to your wife. I'm not saying disengage that relationship, but talk to your wife so that the rules of engagement will be very clear.
Okay.
Talk to your wife.
Okay.
You talk to your wife, not your friend. Talk to your wife, because she's the one you are sharing your life with. So your friend is just
okay. Awula Yakoba Saki says that, how do you create a communicating ground with your son's father you aren't married to, without bruising his ego? Like a baby daddy, so to speak.
A baby daddy, yeah. How do you create that without bruising his ego? I don't think communicating with your baby daddy will bruise his ego. What do you say?
Bruise your husband's ego.
Bruise your husband's ego. Your husband's ego.
Yeah, because you are talking to.
It's normally transparency, openness. I wouldn't mind you telling your husband. So there shouldn't be a time that you are talking to your baby daddy and you are hiding. When your husband comes, you drop the phone. What about the metro back? Why? He just entered. I'll call you back later. No. Then there is
you are speaking in whispers.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you know there are people, they can sit with you, and when they are talking, you can't hear. But they are having a conversation, and the person can hear. Sometimes I really wonder. Some people are masters in that. They can sit with you like this and have a full conversation, and no matter how you strain your ears, you can't hear anything. Those are experts. So you just have to be very transparent.
Yeah.
You can even discuss why you need to talk to him with your husband. Save, of course, your husband tells you, you know what, I don't want you to talk to him. Anything about your child, I'm going to take care of it. You get that? Anything about your child, I'm going to take care of it. Maybe you are calling the child, the baby daddy, because of school fees or some of the things for his upkeep and all of that. That's different. So you establish that. Monthly, he brings this. And so anytime you are even about to call, I would rather, if especially the man feels a bit insecure, I would rather wait and call the person whilst the man is there and put the conversation on a loudspeaker so that I settle the man.
Wow.
Yeah. So you walk in a lot of wisdom, especially in the house of Saul. You might find your life or yourself in the midst of a man or a woman who is provoked to jealousy at the least opportunity. David gave us a clue, and David behaved himself wisely in the house of Saul. So sometimes it is just you knowing that this Saul has a javelin and his jealousy can cause him to throw it, and because of that I'll walk in a lot of wisdom. So you learn to do that. If he tells you that I don't want you to get in touch with him, I will pay every bill, I will take care of your child, that's fine. But even that, the child has to still see the father. So there should be very clear, don't hide. There is no need for you to be a CIA or a BNI over this. No covert operations. Right. Be very open about it. Be very transparent about it.
I think it's a very serious subject that creates here. But I want to pick this last question, and then we can, because our time is up, unfortunately. How do you separate friendship from business in terms of pricing?
Who does that? Friendship from business.
From business.
Like
how
what?
Do you separate friendship?
Like you are my friend. You're coming to buy something from me.
Yes.
Oh no,
people do that.
There's no friendship.
But no, it's.
No, stop.
You've answered it and made it so easy. But
stop. Stop. It's not possible. The person is not a businessman.
Really?
Business with my profit on it.
It's created.
That you are a friend.
It's created.
That's not the problem. The person is not your friend. The person is not even patronizing your business. The person doesn't support your business. If you support my business and I buy this at 10 and I'm selling it at 12 or 11 and you come and you tell me that because you are my friend I should sell it to you at 10, you don't like me. The fact that I bought it at 10 doesn't mean I should sell it for you at 10 because I'm paying for storage, there is transportation, there are a lot of build-up cost to it. So you not paying that means you are not supporting my business.
That may be something that is very, let's say a service, for example, a photographer who takes photos. That's his job, his profession. So I will ask you, I need a shot after church. Help me out.
My guys in church, I'm very disappointed in them. I get very disappointed in PK, and sometimes all of them, when they see they don't have money.
Lord have mercy.
I've been very disappointed for a very long time. It's good you have brought photography up. I went to the US some time ago. My wife is watching and she knows this. I bought a Canon 3D Mark IV, or how do you call it? The latest one. With all the optical lenses, all of them.
Those expensive cameras.
With a Mac Pro for editing and all of that. Everything came to, I think it was about 15,000 US. I bought and I brought it. Okay, my wife led the giving of it to somebody, so it's been given to the person. The idea that I had was that the thing was supposed to work for, say, B.Ed Michael and supposed to pay for itself. Ask me, I brought it about a year ago. I've not seen a dime from it. So if this person comes to me and tells me that I need money, and I'm asking, okay, where is my initial investment? Okay, somebody is telling you I need a shot. No problem, I'll give you a shot, but I'm going to edit. And I'm going to send it with data. So what stops me from taking 5 CDs from you? So you are my friend, but you want me not to have data to send it. So I'm not charging you for the service, I'm charging you for data. Can I charge you for data? I need data to send it. I need data to edit. What is wrong with that?
You set the tone for the technical team.
Yeah. They should charge for data.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, our time is up. We'll have to wrap up. But before we go, we'll get Papa to give us his closing remarks. But before that, I'm still talking about healthy infusions, hibiscus infusions for that matter. Very delicious soap bulu here. They sponsored the program for us. Thank you very much. God bless you. It's one of the initiatives that was developed out of Wednesday, and we are proud to talk about it and be associated with them as well. So please grab a drink. They have chunks of the fruits in the bottle. Very, very delicious. You love it. Yeah. All right. So we are getting back to Papa, And Papa, your closing remarks on this one. I think this one we need to have a part 2 of this.
No, next week we'll continue.
Yes,
next week we'll
very important. And I would want you to this one, if you can focus, channel it on the social media kind of friendship, because it's a big deal for many people.
That's fine. We can do that.
There's a story that a lady was just let me just summarize it. That it was just a comment on someone's picture post. The person got offended, screenshot the comment and sent it to other friends, and they ganged up to look for where the lady was to attack her. Yes. So that's how serious people take this whole social media friendship thing. And when they were finally apprehended by the police, because it was reported, the friends that actually ganged up to go and attack the lady who passed the comment didn't even know this lady that much. All they knew was a social media friend. But that's the extent to which people can go. I think we need really a serious.
So next week we can do that. Yeah. We can do that. I want to thank all of you. Friendship is a beautiful thing if you have the right ones.
That's right.
So the Bible says there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So next week we'll talk about all of that. Some friends come to bring you joy, and some friends are a blessing to you. So pray for the right ones, because you can't be an island. You need people around you. So pray for the right ones. I also want to say thank you to, I know everybody is watching. God bless all of you. Thank you for following us and believing and supporting and loving us and supporting everything that we do as the Maker's House, as the B.N. Michael Ministries, as Michael Boadi Nyamekye, and your friend, I believe. And I also want to say thank you to my wife. She's still watching, for being a good friend, an amazing friend. And my kids, Michael, Michelle, Miguel, for also watching. Love you guys. And I'll talk to you right after the program. And all my sons and daughters, all of you are not none of you is my friend. You are all my sons and daughters. And so what it means is that I see an extension of me in you, which is beautiful. That is stronger than friendship. When we say blood is thicker than water, that's what it means. It's stronger than friendship. So I'm not saying any of you as friends to be able to judge whether I should let them get close or stay away. It's just how I see all of you. And I love all of you. And thank you for your continuous support and love, all of you, everybody from the media team who don't understand business. And they are just happy about doing their job. But maybe next week remind me that I will say that job excitement does not always translate in financial gains.
Another point line.
So we'll talk about that next week.
All right.
Can be excited about your job and be poor.
Wow. What a beautiful time we've had here. Very insightful discussion. Yes, of course. Trust Dr. Michael Boadi Nyamekye to do justice to the subject. He's promised that to continue next week. We're going to have a part 2 of it. We're going to look at other angles of friendship and what it means to stay in friendship. Is it even good at all? Next week, explaining that.
Next week we'll do friendship. But in the month of August, I want to switch this whole conversation into the gifts of the Holy Spirit and the fruits of the Holy Spirit. For the whole month of August, what it means to bear the fruits and what it means to have the gifts. Can the container be polluted and still maintain its value? Wow. So these are some of the deep conversations I want to have in the month of August. Because people are home most of the time watching services online and all of that. I want us to understand the patterns, the dynamics of the gifts of the Spirit and the fruits of the Spirit.
Wow. Okay. So all right. So you heard Papa. I said the month of August is getting into that. Very important, so that we get our minds clear on that. Very important. It's been a very exciting discussion. As I said, I've learned a lot. I mean, that the fact that you've forgiven someone does not necessarily mean you should go and frolic with them again. You need to draw the lines. You also need your discernment spectacles on to be able to discern who qualifies to be intimate with you as a friend. You don't meet someone and just open all the chapters of your life to them. Very, very deep lessons learned here. A few of them. Diana Ofori Adro says, beautiful lessons learned. Thank you very much, Papa. Niyama is saying that very insightful, Papa. I have learned a lot. God bless you. Gina Dago, God bless you, Papa. Thanks, a friend. Amazing and a learning great stuff. Amediku Martin, and a whole lot of messages. Thank you so much. There's a question from Timax. Timax, God willing, next week we will look at that question. But please, we encourage you to send the questions ahead. If you have any challenge at all, you've gone through an experience before that you'll want to share with us, don't be shy about it. Share, send it, and we'll get Papa to look at it. Maybe a word of advice for you. Thank you so much for being part of today's show. It was also proudly sponsored by Healthy Hibiscus Infusions. Thank you so much for supporting us. It's a very delicious sobo put in a bottle with chunks of the fruit in it. You need to grab a copy and then enjoy it. It's very delicious. God bless you. Thank you so much. Many thanks to the technical team, Mr. John Tete, Mr. Mark Weber Frimpong, Kweku Babyface, thank you, PK, and the team, everyone. Thank you so much. And also an in-house audience that came to support. God bless you so much. Same time next week, we come your way with a continuation, a part 2 of the subject friendship. It's bye-bye. My name is Nana Puku.
I know the words that God has placed in our mouth for you had been inspiring, motivating, it had been uplifting, it had been very revelatory unto you. And therefore, I urge you, subscribe to us on YouTube, like our page on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram or Twitter. And therefore, I say that you should join us, subscribe to my YouTube channel, just like my page, like the page of the church, like the page of the B.N. Michael Ministries, and follow us on Instagram as well. Follow us everywhere you can follow us, because through all those mediums, God has given us a word to bring to you. And until you subscribe, until you follow, until you like, you'll never be able to get them. So subscribe, follow, and like us on all the social media platforms, and your life will never be the same. God bless you, even as you do this. Thank you.